Welcome to this edition of Footprints in American History. I'm Jeff Dial, and today we're going to talk about how getting lost saved the Atlanta Braves season. Okay, this story is going to take us back 40 years to 1982, August 19th, 1982. The pitcher's name is Pascual Perez. Now, Atlanta has been going through, first of all, let me just tell you, I remember this year. Okay, Atlanta started off hot that year. This is back in the days when they were on TBS. They had losing season it was something like 6 straight losing seasons they had gone through, and then all of a sudden they started off hot. At one point they'd won 13 straight games and the Braves were looking good. That changed, however. Right about July, somewhere in July, they started losing. And I do remember that because they had gone from this huge lead in the National League West, which was the division they were in back then, to suddenly just losing 19 out of 21 games. So they're desperate. They want to start winning games again, but they don't know how to stop the slide. And they're just frustrated. Well, they call up a pitcher from AAA Richmond. His name is Pascual Perez. He had pitched a little bit for Pittsburgh before this. Now he's with the Braves organization. He gets called up from AAA, and he's scheduled to start on August 19th, 1982. What happens is, he doesn't know his way around Atlanta. He just got his driver's license that day, and he's leaving to go to the stadium to report to the ballpark, and he asks directions of how to get there, and he's told, you got to get on Interstate 85 and then yada, yada, yada. Well, what happens is, let's explain the Atlanta interstate system first of all. They have several interstates that go through there, okay? I-85, diagonal. The big north-south crossroad that goes through, that's the main artery that goes to Atlanta interstate-wise, that's Interstate 75. And then you have I-20, which is the big east-west. Now, to connect all of these is Interstate 285. Now, the locals know that as the perimeter. And I-285 is a lot of lanes and a lot of traffic, but it's the bypass that circles the city. Now, it's just under 64 miles. So what happens is, Perez is told, take I-85 to get to the stadium. So what happens is, he gets on Interstate 285 by mistake, okay? Circular road. And so here he is, he's on this road, 64 miles long in a circle, and it's very notorious, this highway. A lot of people will get on this road on the perimeter and they get lost. So they're just going around in circles. And that's exactly what happened to Pascual Perez. He gets lost. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know why he's not seeing signs of the stadium. He's just looking, and he's driving on this road, and he had already gone around it a couple times. After 150 miles, he's low on gas, and he's starting to get scared because he knows he needs to be at the ballpark. So he pulls off, gets off one of the exits, and some people tell him, well, you got to get on Interstate 20 to get there, and he's just confused. He doesn't know the city. He had just gotten there. So he's trying to figure out which way to get toward where the stadium is. So what happens is, he also needs gas. So he pulls into this gas station, and he asks the guy for $10 worth of gas. Now, what had happened, though, was that he's also asking, how do I get to the stadium where the Atlanta Braves play, which was back then Fulton County Stadium. And the guy looks at him and goes, are you Pascual Perez? And he's like, yeah. And he was listening to the Braves pregame show. And he goes, they're looking for you. They're wondering where you are. So he tells him, which just, Perez's heart just sinks. He tells him, you're about 20 minutes away from the stadium. So he gets his gas, he goes to the stadium, and the national anthem is playing when he finally arrives. So everybody in the stadium is just like, where did you come from? What happened? And, because the Braves, they were worried. They didn't know what had happened to their starting pitcher that night. So they had to schedule Phil Niekro, who had pitched. He was a knuckleballer. He had just pitched a few nights before, so he didn't have a lot of rest. But what happened was, he got scheduled to do the start that night. So Perez ends up having to watch the game from the dugout and the clubhouse. But what happened was, because of getting lost, the team just thought it was the most hilarious thing they'd ever seen. Everybody in the stadium was also confused, like, how in the world did you end up getting lost for so long on this road? but he did. He was from the Dominican Republic. He was still learning what it was like around Atlanta, and so the teammates just gave him so much of a razzing about it. They started hanging road maps on his locker. He took it with a sense of humor too. He ended up having a jacket with I-285 on the back of it, and he took it in stride and had a lot of fun. And even a year later, what happened is that they had a Pascual Perez perimeter night, and they gave away free maps of Interstate 285 on it to 14,000 fans. So it was all in fun, and it was all a good laugh for the team. Now, here's the thing though, okay? They had lost at that point. They'd gone on that big slide. After starting off so strong, they went on that big slide, and what happened was they had a much needed laugh. They had been tense before. They were scared. They didn't know how to stop the slide. And then here Perez comes out and gets lost, and he gets these nicknames like Perimeter Perez, Perimeter Pascual, I-285, and it gave them the laugh they needed. And then what happened was they loosened up. And ironically, that night that Phil Niekro pitched, they beat the Montreal Expos 5-4. They ended up winning 6 straight games, and because of it, they relaxed and their season went much better after that incident. And Joe Torre, who was the manager at the time, even said in an interview he really felt that that was what broke that tension for the team and allowed them to just start playing and having fun again. And because of it, Atlanta barely made the playoffs as a result of this. So in a way, a lot of people would credit Pascual Perez with having helped save the season for Atlanta in 1982. I hope you enjoyed this story. I always found it was kind of an amusing story. Special credit to FreewayJim. He's a fellow YouTuber. He was the one that turned me on to this story in one of his videos, so I did want to give credit where it's due. And it's a great story, especially if you're somebody who lives around Atlanta or you know the area really well. So thanks so much for watching. Have a great night. Also, subscribe to the channel, like, and give us a big thumbs up. Also, ring the bell that'll give you notifications of future videos. And I also have another channel called Just a Bit Outside channel. Check it out, take a look. You'll really enjoy the videos on there also. In the meantime, fair winds and following seas.
Just a bit outside.